Well, we're not talking about Mashiach, and that is the whole purpose of the Chabad movement. And the means that it uses is Chassidut. Not to think that that Chassidut is just a means to something else, because in fact it is an essence in itself. But Chassidut stresses, like he says, like he's explained before, the godliness of the Torah. There are four aspects of the Torah. There's what's called the simple meaning, then there's a more homiletic meaning, and more, what do you call it, remez, hints in the Torah. That's all, especially in the Talmud is that. And then there's the secrets of the Torah. But all those four, it's possible to learn and forget about the main essence of the Torah, and that's the godliness of the Torah. Godliness of the Torah. Through history, those people who wanted to make war against Judaism, they hit at the godliness of the Torah. Some said that the 5 books of Moses aren't holy. They were just made up by scientists or by
5 guys.
Right, 5. There's a different. If you ever read, there's these people who are the Torah. What are they called? The analyzers. And the beginning of creation is written by 5 different people. You can see the different names of God that are used. You know, there's the Elohim version and this version. You ever hear that? Did you see that before?
Yeah, Wellhausen.
What? Who is it?
Julius Wellhausen.
Wellhausen. Good. Jews are smart people. You understand?
JEPD.
JEPD, which stands for Jewish Educational.
No, there's three like four authors of.
Yeah, right. I read a little bit of that. I mean, they teach this stuff in university. People actually sit and pay money to hear this and listen with their mouths open to all these weird these ideas. Anyway, the essence of the Torah is the godliness of the Torah right now. In other words, the Torah is God's wisdom and God's will right now. And all of the rabbis who interpreted the Torah, they were people who really truly believed this, and they really truly understood that the Torah was given to be interpreted to be explained by people who really believed the holiness of every letter and every idea of the Torah. They did it with tremendous, I want to call it fear and awe. Anyway, there's been people that go against that, and then there's others that go against the Talmud. They went against the Talmud. There were the Tzedukim, and the Baitusim, the Karaim, the Tzedukim are the Sadducees, what they call it. These people were like enemies of Judaism. They wanted to destroy Judaism by either remaking it or just totally debunking it, or not to deal with things that pain the heart. So, and especially secrets of the Torah. Secrets of the Torah is a new thing, that the secrets of the Torah are not godly. What does it mean if it's godly? If it's godly, it means 2 things. First of all, it implies action. God wants you to do things. Spiritual means you don't have to do action. People see that the Zohar and Kabbalah are spiritual books, which of course they are spiritual books, but if they say that the spirituality of it is only the garment, it's only the body of it that is spiritual. The essence of it is godly. What does it mean that it's godly? First of all, it implies action that you have to actually do. Usually these people who take the godliness out of the Torah, it's in order to become less active. You don't have to do the commandments. You don't have to actually do any of these things. There's no really physical difference between a Jew and a non-Jew, between the land of Israel and other places, between other places in the world, because the Jewish Bible and the other Bibles, and everybody has their own Bible, right?
They take the God out of it. What do they do with it? I don't understand.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Sure,
it's a baseball game.
Yeah, it's like, people learn, there's people who learn, experts in ancient Chinese literature and ancient, Sanskrit and yeah. But it's very interesting. It's very interesting. There's people that could sit and learn. There are people who used to be able to sit and learn the Talmud. And people that were experts in the Talmud. There were popes that were experts in the Talmud. And they used to learn Talmud. There were people in yeshivas that they used to actually learn Talmud. And their main thing was to write, show how genius they were, that they remembered something over here that seems to contradict what it over here. And this seems to answer it, but it really doesn't because there's a contradiction over there. And they would write their ideas on Shabbat and smoke cigars in order to help them concentrate. Because the Talmud is very interesting. Some people really, it's like crossword puzzles, It's like really interesting. Some people love that stuff, really. Some love it. And, the fact that it's interesting. Then there's, the Kabbalah. There was one guy in Israel, he won the Nobel Prize for Kabbalah. He didn't even believe in God, didn't believe in Judaism, didn't believe in anything. But he really knew his stuff. He was really good, he really knew all the books and everything. There are people who like that. People who like that.
No, what's his name? Gershon Schultz.
Yeah, that's what he said. And then there were people who Chassidut also. They also learned Chassidut. Well, not really Chassidut, but Chassidic stories. It's possible to do anything. Chassidut, Chabad, though, comes ideally to talk about the godliness which is in all the aspects of the Torah, and the Rebbe will show how, and the uniqueness of Judaism, and the holiness which is really found in everything in the world, potentially. Because God is creating everything, and everything has to be used in the way that God wants it. The Creator wants it to be used. So that's the idea of Hachasidus. Okay, this is basically the idea of the Mashiach, the Messiah, the Jewish Messiah, the Jewish Mashiach. He's going to come and make these ideas real. He's going to really bring all the Jews back to action, to doing all the commandments, And like I said, that was one of the big weapons of the enemies of Judaism, to take away action. You don't have to do the commandments anymore. You don't have to do all the commandments. You don't have to do, right? You don't have to do the commandments the way they say you have to do. You can do however you want to. Everybody can interpret the Torah however they want to. Action. The main thing is doing the commandments, and also to feel the holiness of the commandments, to feel the holiness of the Torah, to feel the holiness of the Jewish people. Holiness, in other words, the godliness, that aspect which is not understandable. God is creating us. Take that in the basic beginning. He's creating us. Do you feel this? No. Do you feel? Maybe somebody of our listeners do feel it. But that's amazing. God is creating us. According to Chassidus, that's the lowest aspect of God that He's creating us. That's the lowest aspect of God that He's creating us. That He creates everything. Higher than that is why He's creating everything. What reason He's creating it. And even higher than that is to change everything, to improve everything. And that's the idea of the Mashiach. The Mashiach is going to come. He's going to fill the world with the knowledge of the Creator. Everyone is going to feel special. Everyone will feel responsibility to the Creator, and know that the only way you can fill this responsibility is through the Torah. The non-Jews have 7 Noahide commandments, and the Jews have 613 commandments, as we're going to talk about. So let's go further. In the days of the Mashiach, there are going to be all these amazing revelations. Let's see, where are we now? We are on page Chaf Zayin. Bechinat. Huh? Oh, the Rebbe explains that there are different periods, of the idea of Mashiach. Mashiach is a very, very interesting topic, because that's really the whole essence of Judaism, of what Mashiach is. And of course, the other religions misused this terribly, but you can see that it's a very popular idea, the Mashiach. everybody knows. I think all the religions in the world have this idea that somebody's going to come along and change everything. So everyone pretty much in the world agrees that the world has to be changed. The world shouldn't be the way it is. I think, huh? The world has to be changed. The question is, who's going to change it, and why is it going to? Why is it going to be? There's a lot of people, especially in, the post French Revolution, and these people, that it seems that they say that the world does not have to be changed. Exactly the opposite. We just have to sort of flow with it, just let things go and let it be, and nothing really makes any difference, and nothing really matters, and teachers leave the kids alone. Just sort of this anarchy, not anarchy, yes, anarchy, and what's it called? I don't remember. Can't think of the word. Anyway, this meaningless sort of, wispy world that there's no real purpose and there's no really reason why we're here, and everything is just sort of this scientific, combustion of oxygen or whatever it is.
How did you say it before that Moshiach is the heart, the reason for the Torah? How did you say it?
What?
You said something just before about how the heart or the reason for the Torah is from Moshiach, something like that.
The goal of Judaism. That's what Abraham started. Abraham started that there will be, in the world will be recognized godliness.
Okay.
Which is, on one hand, it's the most simple thing in the world. I mean, God is creating everyone. And He's creating everyone from love, and everyone is different. Even snowflakes are different. At least that's what I heard. You ever heard that? Snowflakes are different. Fingerprints for sure are different. People's personalities, they're all different. Everyone is different. Why does God do it that way? Why does God create that? Because everybody has something special, some special purpose, some special reason for being here in the eyes of God. Everyone has their personal relationship with God, special, and Mashiach will reveal this. That's why there's so much depression and so much this in the world, is because people have no purpose. Professor Viktor Frankl pointed this out very, very clearly. When people have a purpose and they feel that they have a responsibility, is that cures them of 99% of their problems. Maybe even physical problems. He was talking about psychological, but even physical. But people just have to feel useful, purposeful, that life has a meaning to it. Okay.
So Moshiach is the guide, the person to bring us to the point of
activate all the Jews.
The world.
Yes.
Godliness in the world, that's the whole purpose of all this. Not Mashiach.
Mashiach, that's of course, Mashiach will bring to the realization of what is Mashiach. But on the other, just like Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they're the fathers of Judaism, and we can't forget them. But we can't forget them because they embodied a certain purpose and defiance of nature and changing the world, as Mashiach will be the sum total and the result of all this. He'll be the person that really changes the world. I mean, listen, you take a couple examples. How there are people that change the whole entire world, individuals. They change the whole world. Most of them change the world for bad. Right? We can find a lot of examples of people that change the world for bad. I mean, they changed the world. Look at.
I think anybody who changed the whole world. I can think of people who changed industries. I can think of people who changed, people's thought in one part of the world.
Yeah, let's just take a terrible one terrible example. Hitler.
He didn't change the whole world. He messed up a big part of it for a short time, but he didn't really change.
But after, listen, it could be the people that had no education. It could be anybody that read the newspapers. Suddenly, people realized what, how do you say, destructive powers, how evil man can be, and it became acceptable. All of a sudden, just everybody lived in a world where one person can change the whole world into a bloodbath. Luckily, the other forces, the allies stood against him, but if not, he would have killed, who knows if he would have killed. They were like really good at it.
He pointed a variety of the Romans during the time of the Second Temple, what they did to
Good, okay.
sages. But Moshiach, that's like
Yeah, sure.
quantum change.
Mashiach is going to change the whole world. That's right, yes. The reason he's going to change the whole world is very simply, he's not going to rule the world from the outside. He's going to rule the world from the inside. Hitler and these people, what do they try to say? That Germany is superior. We have to say Alexander the Great, right? You have to accept, Greece and the Greece culture and the this and that, because it came from the outside. It was really something foreign to people, so a foreign force was ruling over them. They just considered themselves to be superior. Here, Mashiach is not going to make it that a foreign force is going to rule over everybody. Everyone is being created by God. This God wants everybody's benefit. You want to know what God wants? It's an absolute thing. It's not something that somebody made up. Right? Not something that someone made up. That absolutely everyone is being created by God. God has a will. The only time God ever spoke to anyone in this world, and told exactly what he wants from the world, is when the Jews got the Torah. 3 million Jews saw this. It's not just one guy went out to the desert and came back and said, I got a message. He found a book in the middle of the sea in a bottle or something. And he said, this is the meaning of life. Mashiach is going to change the whole entire world. Right? Why? How is he going to change the world from the inside? People say, this God that he's talking about is really creating me. And he's enlivening me. And he's giving me my life. Why am I here? God is creating me. Let's find out why God is creating me. And that's what the Torah is about. So everyone in the world will see this. The Rambam, Maimonides, he writes in the end that all of the non-Jews, all of the religions, all of the non-Jews will drop all of their religions. They'll see that they're lies. Sheker nachalu avotenu. They'll see that they have been inherited lies by their fathers. They're free. The founders of all the religions, they had spiritual experiences, yes. But as soon as their spiritual experiences contradict in any way the Jews of the Torah, then everybody will realize that it's a bluff. That it's false. It's popular, it's with this, but it's also very, Judaism is also very, very, how do you say the word? It's demanding. It's not the word I wanted, but anyway, it's very demanding. People obligating, obligating. If you really take this Judaism seriously, it really obligates you and really activates you to do a lot of things you don't want to do. You don't want to do.
When you don't want to do it.
So when you don't want to do it, it's forbidden to take revenge. It's forbidden to get angry. Right? A person should not be depressed. A person should not hate others. That's pretty difficult. Pretty difficult for the Jews also. Difficult for me. Let's go. What's going to happen in the days of the Mashiach? Bechinat elokut, the level of godliness. Okay, Herschel. Shalomayla mi'ateva, which is above nature. Yeh will be as then begilly revealed. Shalochein, therefore, Yiyu korim et Hashem kikasavo. People will call God's name as it is written. What's the big deal about calling God's name as is written? Now, God's name, it says is written Yud and there's a Hey and above Hey, but you're not supposed to say that name. We don't say that name. The world is not ready for it. It's not just, so you say it, So what's the big deal? Say it. No.
What's the reason why we're not supposed to say it?
This is the reason why. This is the reason why. Because that name represents an aspect of God which now is concealed. It's like calling somebody, your wife before you get married to her. Come on, you're going to get married, So she's my wife. You're my wife. I'm not your wife, Mrs. This. I'm not Mrs. Hashem can't be called by that name because we haven't got that inner relationship to Him. Some people say we get like that. There's like in the world, there's nudist colonies, right? It's a disgusting thing to talk about. We figured we're going to fix up the sin of Adam, right? Really, the people, it is nuts. There's some people it's popular. Well, this we're fixing up the sin of Adam. It says before that he ate from the tree, they were naked and they weren't embarrassed. So now we're going to take on the embarrassment was a gift. It was a gift to show them how low they were. The shame, right? It's like the Germans, they took away the shame. They feel no shame. Killed people, raped, murdered. Don't feel any shame, don't feel any regret. Right? We're supermen. We're above our conscience. No, there's a reality. There's a reality. The reality is that God is not revealed. That's the reality. You can't pretend it by calling it a different name, by taking off your clothes or whatever you want to do. Want to take your clothes off in the mikveh? You can go in the mikveh. Take off your there, you know.
They have the mixed gender fluid mikvah.
In America, they don't know us. Reform. Okay. only human beings can make up a thing like this. Why in animals there's males and there's females? Everything there's males and there's females except human beings. Except human beings. In human beings there's 700 genders and whatever. The world is going insane. The people are so obsessed. Viktor Frankl talked about this. Professor Frankl, he talked about this. Our generation is simply obsessed with sex. They're obsessed with it. It's an obsession. They have to think about it all the time, and they have to, this is this type of sex, this way of sex, this way, right? Don't call me this, call me this, call me this, next day call me this. They have I read that they used to have these LGBT, so then they LGBTQ. Now it's, the name is like 20 letters long. It's like one of these Indian, swamis or something. Right? Because they just can't, another type of a thing, right? The world is insane. There simply is no identity. And unfortunately, the fault really, the fault is the Jews. If the Jews really knew what Jews were, then that's the only Judaism is the only, absolute identity that there is in the world. Here we see there's Jews, right, that they don't live in Jew land, they weren't born in Jew land. There's no such thing, right? They weren't born in Israel. They never saw Israel. They never did a commandment in their life. Their parents didn't do it. They don't believe in the Torah. They don't believe in God. There's Jews in Russia, they don't even know that they're Jews. They don't even know they're Jews. They discover, after whatever Jews, all of a sudden he discovers he's a Jew. It changes his whole life. I'm a Jew. Really? He starts doing the Torah, does mitzvahs. The guy was a normal person, a scientist who knows what it is. I'm a Jew. Pops up after 5 generations, right? They thought they'd killed all Jewish identity. All of a sudden, it pops up. Right? In Israel, they tried it so desperately to wipe out Jewish identity and make a new Jewish identity. Right? We're going to have a new country. It's going to be wonderful. We're going to get along with everybody. And all of a sudden, right? All of a sudden, what comes? No, you're Jews. I'm not a Jew. I'm just an Israeli. I'm a person like you. No, you're a Jew. Now in Israel, there's all these singers, popular singers, that are all becoming religious. It's a very big thing. They're becoming religious. They're becoming religious, not that they stop singing or whatever. They just don't sing about girls anymore. They don't sing about, right? They sing, and they're very popular. Some of them are also very good. They write unusual, unique songs, but they're very melodic and popular and beautiful chords, and it just pops up. It says like the Jews are like oil. The oil always floats up to the top. And that's the Rebbe's going to talk about this, about oil. Let's go further. This level of, that's why it says that there will be calling God's name as it is written. Ki b'kol olam kulo, the whole world, there will be revealed name of God. What is God? God creates everything. One of the most amazing things that God creates is time. Time. God is above time. Like you ask a question, what was it before the world? What's going to be after the world? But the answer is there's nothing. Nothing. Time began, the whole concept of time began when God created the world. 5,780 years ago, God created the world, with a couple months. And before that, there was no time. You can't say, oh, come on, the world couldn't have been created. The world has to be a million years, a trillion years, a quadrillion years. Whatever, the light, there's a light warp and a change warp. What do you have to go dray a cup for? God created everything from nothing. Time is one of the creations. Before that, there was can you imagine that? Can't imagine it. You can imagine sort of like a vacuum with no space, a little bit, right? No things.
But that's the thing.
Okay, that's sort of also a thing. But let's say, no consciousness with it, right? Whatever it is. But time, no time. How can there be no time? It says that's what God is. The name of God is Yud, then letter Hey, Vav, and then Hey. This is all of the letters that compose the different words for time. Haya is past. Hoveh is present. Yihiyeh is future. That's the 4 letters of God's name. Hey, Vav, and Yud. Those are the 3 letters that are used to make the 4 letters of God's name. So he says God, in his essence, is above time, beyond time, and God exists right now. And in fact, the time is just a creation. Time is not really real like we think it is. We're not really real like we think we are. We are creations. In fact, we are infinitely more real than we can imagine because we are being created by the essence of God. We're being created by God. We're not here by accident. According to science, we're here by accident. Wait, according to science, does life has any meaning? Go ask the philosophers. Go ask them. According to Judaism, God personally is creating every single person in the world. That is every instant of life is imbued with meaning. It's not 2 separate things. There's science, and then there's philosophy, and there's psychology, and there's one thing. God is creating everything with the science, with the philosophy, with the psychology. It's all inherent in every aspect, in every molecule, in every instant of time. That's what God is. This will be revealed right now. In other words, we are being created by a God that is totally above time. He's creating time. Do you feel this? Don't know what you're talking about. Well, in the future, you will feel it. You'll feel how important you are. You'll feel who your Creator is. Your Creator is not just combustion or what, I don't know what they say it is, a black hole. That's what people say creation is made by evolution. It'll be like the revelation that was in the Holy Temple. Why did people go 3 times to the Holy Temple? Because they would go to the Holy Temple, they would feel there's a Creator that's creating me. I am here for a reason. You'd go back inspired. Not only in this world, but in all the worlds. What do you mean in all the worlds? Because the conduct, what happens in the upper worlds, is according to what happens in this world. We did this before. They said the Magid message said, "Da malamayla mimach." You should know what is above is from you. The simple meaning is you should know what's above you. It's written on the Amud of prayer. You should know what's above you. The Magid message said you should know that what is above is from you. All the upper worlds, you change them. Al derech kaviyas rosh chodesh, like when you set the rabbis in the time of the Beit HaMikdash would set. They would determine when the beginning of the month was and when the holidays are. That the Rosh Chodesh, according to Kabbalah, when Rosh Chodesh occurs, there's a whole, a whole festival going on in the upper worlds. Everything changes tremendously. And this is all dependent on when the rabbis declared the moon, the new moon. That's what it used to be. That according to what we said below, that's how the world in the upper worlds work. Since the whole idea of the Mashiach is to change the physical world, how we act, behold, shinui, dugmato, what happens in this world, there will be a what do we call it? Corresponding change in all of the upper worlds. Shinoi dugmat yiyeh gam ba'olamot elyonim, also in the upper worlds, the spiritual worlds. How does the spiritual worlds come down to us? Things like, what do the people call luck? Luck. Where did luck come from? Where does it come from? In the upper worlds, they don't know. I think I told you I went to Japan. And walking down the streets in Tokyo, all of a sudden there's this big opening. You smell this sort of strange sort of smell. And you go in, there's this big sort of pool filled, it's filled with dirt. And there's all these sticks of incense burning. And I go in and look around, and I can't figure what in the world am I doing? What's going on over here? You know, everything was like high tech. And all of a sudden there's this place in the middle of nowhere. There's all these pagodas and these little shrines and all these weird things over there. And then there was a big long table. And the table, they were selling incense. And on each little booth where you would buy the incense, there was what this incense is good for. You know, I guess you light the incense in front of your little god or whatever it is, and you pray, right? So one is for good luck, for passing your driver's test, for, you know, success in the doctor, whatever. Right? Make you place your order here, you know. And must have been like 100 different categories that were there. You know, success in this thing, success in that thing. So in other words, people know that there's spiritual things that are going on that determine what's going to happen to us. It's out of our control. And people sort of want to be in control. So they burn incense to this thing, or they offer up a banana, or whatever they do. And this gives them a influence on the upper worlds. Says the Rebbe, you really want to influence the upper worlds, that things will be good, that there'll be luck, there'll be good fortune. As says the Rebbe, that's what the Mashiach is here for. The Mashiach is here to change what the Jewish people do. When it changes what they do, then that'll change all the upper worlds. All of a sudden, everybody in the world will get different ideas, different inspirations. Right? You can imagine what it would have been in Hitler's Germany if there would have been 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 people that stood up and said, you can't do this. You can't just kill people for no reason. You can't just kill people because they're Slavs, because they're gypsies, because they're this, they think differently, they act differently. You can't just kill them. You know, I mean, if you want to go and kill people, at least make a trial or something. Just because of what the person is, you're going to kill them. Nobody thought these ideas. What was going on? Right? Nobody thought, and if they did, they didn't write. Nobody. I don't know. It could be that they did. I don't know if anybody. I'm not that big of a history expert. You think people would, you know, run away from Germany and go to France and write, you know, that this man is evil, Nazis are bad. But it seems everybody, you see the big rallies, everybody's just high, they were just crazy. Why? Because spiritually, they were receiving inspiration that this guy is okay. You know, it's a good thing to die for and to kill for and to just hear the word Germany, just sense, you know, goosebumps all over. Germany will win. Germany. Where do they get this from? Spiritual. It's a spiritual feeling. It says that when the Jews left Egypt, that God destroyed all of their gods. Elohim Shfatim Ani Hashem. God said, "I'll make all their spiritual powers." Right? God said. Ukamo, for instance. One second. Where are we now? What happened? I turned 2 pages. I think. No. Okay, here it is. I'm sorry. What? Huh? Kafchet. Oh, yes. So here we go. Hey, that's right. But the top paragraph. Achre kolon yiskar. Everything we said before. Calling yinam elu. Av shegadol v'rav ilui. Even though these things are very, very important. V'hafla'a shebehem. And how amazing they are, and how the world is going to change. There's going to be a different world. It'll be a healthy world. It'll be a happy world. Nevertheless, all of this, we cannot forget where it comes from. The main thing is not so much the result, the good results that there are. Even though that these benefits and these blessings are very great, that will occur in the days of the Mashiach, when the Mashiach causes and convinces the Jews to come back to Judaism. And we see that's what the Lubavitcher Rebbe is, right? Sending out They just had this Kenes HaShluchim. There was 5,000 people there, whatever, and they're all in different places, more or less. And they're all just there to find Jews. And the Rebbe even made a big speech about it. That you don't have to go to a place where there's a lot of Jews. Go to a place where there's only one. Only two. Where there's a lot of Jews, other people will go. You have to go to a place where nobody wants to go. Find even for one Jew. Wasting so much money, time, energy. Right? To go to some weird, crazy place where there's no kosher food and there's no other Jews and there's anti-Semitic. And change the whole place around just to find a Jew. That's the idea. Wake up the Jews to what a Jew is. But all this comes from one point, and that will be of the Mashiach. Mashiach will wake up one little tiny point. What is the one little tiny point that will wake up? Ikar inyan shel Mashiach is Yechida. The main thing of Mashiach is to reveal this level of the soul, which is called Yechida. Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama are the three lower levels of the soul, and Yechida is the highest. Ki yadua, she David zacha lebechinas nefesh. David, he purified this aspect of nefesh. Elijah the prophet purified this level of ruach. Moshe purified and completed this level, purified the level of soul, neshama. Adam Arishon, the first man, he was first man. He was created by God himself. That's the level of chaya. You can't have a higher human being than that, right? Adam Arishon says, well, Mashiach is higher. Mashiach will merit to the level of Yechida. He will merit to the level of Yechida. And like I said before, so we began all these classes, it's very important. Basis is that how does the Rebbe know all this? How does he write all this? What this is? All of the Rebbes of Chabad, all the leaders of Chabad, they were the Mashiach of their generation. They had this level of Yechida, and they stressed this level of Yechida, and they tried to inspire and awaken this level of Yechida in everyone. But like, if you read the Rambam, you'll see that one of the main functions of Mashiach is to bring Mashiach. In other words, Mashiach's job will be to awaken all the Jews up. And then after the Jews are awakened, then there'll be changes in the world politically. The Goyim won't hate the Jews anymore. The Jews will come back to the land of Israel, etc. And then there'll start to be changes spiritually. Right? All the rest of the Jews, all the non-Jews will also start to get different ideas. And then there'll eventually be big miracles, even like the raising of the dead. And things like that. And that's this level of Yechida. The Yechida of the soul. Again, there's Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, and Yechida. This Chassidut Chabad deals with this aspect of Yechida. And it's written by people who had this aspect, the Mashiach of their generation. And the idea is to wake up all the Jews, the Yechida, this level of the fifth, highest level of the soul in every Jew, which is pure godliness. We're going to talk about this. Listen to this. Bechinas Yechida, this level of Yechida, is different than the other four levels of the soul. Malat Yechida, the difference of this level of Yechida on the four levels of Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, and Chaya, the Chamesh Madregas on those five levels of the soul, is like this. Now listen to this, because we're learning about ourselves here. We're not learning about something else. Daled Bechinat Nefesh Ruach Neshama Chaya, the four levels of the soul, which are called Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, and Chaya. Okay, Herschel. Hey, Medregos Pratios. These are individual levels of the soul that each one has its own realm. Generally speaking, Nefesh is the power of life, action, your body. Ruach is the power of emotion. Emotions. Neshama is the aspect of intellect. Chaya is the aspect of willpower. Yochar. But Yechida is not really a level. It includes all of the others. And it's higher than them. The essence of life, if you want to call it. Let's go into this. These levels, Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, and Chaya, these are individual levels. Ubechinat Yechida, He Etzem and Neshama, this is the essence of the soul, Shalomayla, which is above, Migeder Pratim, any details. Good, are you with me, Herschel? We're on page Kaf Tes.
I know, I'm on.
Second line down, first word on the line. Kishma, like its name. What is the name? Yechida. Yechida means totally united with God. Yechida also means totally unique. It is not defined. That it has a name to it is that's a mystery. We'll talk about that. Imiyot asher mi bechin yechida etzem and neshama. Even though that from this level of yechida, now yechida again is the godliness of your soul. Right? Anytime you're in any troubles, difficulties, confusion, anger, bad emotions, whatever, just sit and think to yourself, how am I here? What is enlivening me? How does my soul exist? Where is my soul coming from? Think about it for a second. That at least directs you toward this aspect of Yechida. Etzem and Neshama, the essence of the soul. Nimshachas, from it comes Dalet Abechinas, the four levels of Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, and Chaya. Ein zeh, but it does not mean, this does not mean that this level of Yechida is a level. True, everything comes from it, but Ein zeh shebechinat hayechida hi begerer makor. It is not like a source for the others. It's not like a seed, and from the seed comes a plant. Yechida is something totally different. Yechida is a level of pure godliness. And just like God, even though everything comes from God, but God is not a source. Everything that comes from God is not like any of the things that come from Him. He's the creator. He creates the spiritual. But God Himself is not spiritual. He creates the physical, for certainly He's not physical. So what is God? God is something much, much, much more real than either the physical or the spiritual. The same thing, this level of Yechida, the essence of the soul, it's much more real than any of the four levels that come from it. But nevertheless, these other levels come from it. Oklal lepratim. Yechida is not a source of all the other four levels, and it is also not a general level that from it come all the others. Ki lashon Yechida, this language, this title, Yechida, the essence of the soul, Mora al achdut peshuto. It shows on simple unity, hamushlelet, which is negated, in which there cannot be ezeshu sheichut lepratim, any connection to details. Gam migeder mokor lepratim. It's not even a source for these details. Can we find any example like this in the world? I mean, maybe you can say life. Life. Can we say that in life is contained plants, amoebas, protozoas, cats, dogs, right? It doesn't really make any sense. Even though all these things partake of life, but life is not the source of them. It's not really a good example. Let's maybe another example. Reality. Does reality produce the world from reality? All the world is real. I mean, it's real. Soul is real. Spirits are real. Everything is real. It's real. Do these things come from reality? If you take the sum total of all of the world, right, will that explain to you what reality is? Right? Reality is something that's totally divested of any titles or forms, or that's just a sort of a general way. Philosophies, they tried to deal with this, Plato and these people, they tried to deal with, what is the ultimate form, the ultimate ether, or whatever it is. They couldn't find it. Here the Rebbe is talking about the essence of the soul which is connected to the essence of God. On one hand, God is indefinable. But on the other hand, He creates all these things. Everything comes from God. So there has to be some connection between them. So we said before, that's the secret of the 10 Sfirot. But that's Kabbalistic. Let's talk about in reality, human beings, action, feelings. Right? Human beings are important. Human beings in a way are the most important. Right? What is it that keeps human beings in their form and their uniqueness? Right? That's the level of Yechida. The level of Yechida. The level of Yechida. That's how reality is connected to the essence of God. כידוע, ההפרש בין יחיד ואחד. It's known the difference between this level of Yachid and Echad. כי אם שהיא נקודה עצמית, that even though this level of Yechida is the essence of the soul, אלא שממנו נמצאות, but from it, this is the level of Yachid. It is the essence of the soul. It is indefinable, but somehow or other from it emanates or comes out these other 4 levels of the soul called Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, and Chaya. Okay, Nefesh, Ruach, Shama, and Yechaya, again, that's our personality. That's who we are. Some people live a life only the level of Nefesh. Some people, a lot of times you can go to there's these meditation methods, in the Far East, to teach people how to be like animals, how to be like plants, how to be like rocks, right? Just sit, do nothing, let the world go by, the man on the hill, just watch the world go by, and don't get involved. Don't mix up the waters, let the waters be clear, you can see, you can be... That's like the level of Nefesh. The lowest level. Right, the lowest level, I exist, I'm a human being, I am. Then there's the level of Ruach. Ruach is emotions. That's something like being a plant. Right, like being a plant. You grow, you go, you flow, Then there's the level of Neshama. Neshama is awareness of God. You're sitting and you are aware of the greatness, you are aware of this. My mind has been opened, my eyes have seen how things, right? It used to be a big deal in the 60s. You could take this drug, it opens your mind, ways of it. And let's say that's the level of Neshama. All these things are not human. They're not human. These are not really human aspects of the soul. The human aspect of the soul, that comes to the level of Yechida. The godliness, the preciousness, something which is above understanding. Right? Something which is totally above understanding. We see that there's people who love, that's why it's such a terrible, terrible, awful, awesome travesty now that they're pushing abortion as though a child from a mother is just a thing. It's not a living thing. Women give birth to children. They have a love for their children. And the child comes out. If the mother is normal, has a love for her child. She cares for her child. She looks at her child. Child drives her crazy. Right? Makes noise. Nevertheless, she loves her child. Why does she love her child? What does she get out of it? Unexplainable. Of course, there's people. What do you mean unexplainable? People explain it. You ever see a cat with it? Cats take care of their children. Right? Somebody told me that it's true, by cats and dogs and things like that, they take care of the children. But by cats and dogs, there's no such thing as grandchildren. No such thing as grandchildren. Right? A cat does not care for her children's children. Not only that, it doesn't care for the children either. After they grow up, they have no care whatsoever. There's no connection. A family of cats, they couldn't care whatsoever. As far as I know. Human beings have this thing of love and connection. Of course, everything can be explained psychologically. That was the curse that Freud and these people brought to the world. There's no humanness. Nothing is human. Nothing is real. Human. It's just, everything is just interactions and past impressions. No, Yechida is ultimately human. It's indefinable. That's the essence of the soul, and it's really only the Jewish soul. This is the message the Jews are supposed to bring to the world, and this is what the Mashiach is going to wake up inside of every single Jew And the Jews in turn will wake up its counterpart in the whole entire world. The godliness which is creating us and giving everything meaning. Just like in every soul. The level of Yechida is Nakuda Atzmis, the essence level of the soul. Ken hu Chayot HaNeshama shall Klalos HaIshtalshlos. So it is also the whole entire creation of the world. There's also, man is made in God's image, right? So God also has, so to speak, this level of Yechida. Shebechinat Yechida Shabbat. That this whole entire world also comes from this level of Yechida. This is the level of the Mashiach, which is the Etzem Nekudas HaChayos Shalamayla Migeret Tzior. This is the essence of life which is above any formation, any definition. The Mashiach is connected with the essence of the soul of every Jew. From that it's connected to the essence of the soul of the whole entire creation. And from this will be awakened every single human being to who they themselves really are. To be connected to the Creator. Nefesh, Ruach, Sham, Neshama, Chaya, the Kalalos. In general, there's a general Nefesh, a general Ruach, that enlivens all the worlds. This will be by Mashiach activating all the Jews, and this will be activated in the whole entire world. People will feel godliness, not just spirituality. Ki etzem hachayus hu bilti mugbal, because the essence of life is indefinable. The habli gavul, and the impossibility to define the infiniteness of life. Eino rak be'inyan nitzchiyut. It's not only time, temporary, that the soul never dies. She'einenu nitfas b'shinui hazaman, that it cannot be grasped by time. Ki kol etzem bilti nishtane, because any essence can never be changed. So we're talking about some unchanging aspect of our soul that can be the source of all healing, the source of all health, the source of all happiness, because it's the source of all truth. Shegam zeh mehatamim shel atid lavo yeh chayim nitzchim. This is one of the reasons that the bodies will raise up from the dead, and the souls will come down into the bodies, because the bodies will be eternal. They'll be higher than the souls. Now that in the world there's only just a ray of this essence of life, yeshnu inyan hameta, therefore there is death. Because when we're talking about changing aspects, there can be changing. Va'ad hefsek v'kilion, until there can be stopping and ending. It's almost like if you have a brilliant bright light, right? Let's say in a movie theater, you can't show the movie. In order you want to show a movie, you want to start articulating the light, you have to dim it down. Same thing when pure godliness is revealed, then we'll see that there won't be any changes. How it'll be, I don't know. It's impossible to understand, but there won't be any changes. How there's going to be people and each person will come back to be himself. This is a tremendous mystery, but we don't know what reality is. Before Adam ate from the tree, he was connected to real reality. As soon as he ate from the tree, he opted out. He said, I want to make the decisions. I don't want to go according to too much. God said, don't eat from the tree. He ate from the tree. There came a new thing in the world, that man, he became God. He became the boss, which is a lie. And because of this, he got separated from reality, there was death. Because he got separated from reality, there was death. Okay, Herschel. Ela gam be'inyana echud v'mala. Infinity is not only time-wise, but also quality-wise. Time is a thing that just keeps going. The life will be a different quality of life. Sheshalem hu b'tachlit hashlemot. It'll be ultimately complete. Life will be complete. It'll even be higher than what Adam was, the first man. Loche, and therefore, Ki, She, Tum, Shach, Ba'olama, when they will be drawn into the worlds. Bechinat Yechida, this level of Yechida. V'yechiyu, Bechinat Atzmi, and people will live from their essence. Yiyu b'meile tachli tamayla v'shlemos. Then all life will be the ultimate way that they were supposed to be when God created them. You'll feel the godliness in everything. Everything will be indefinably good, indefinable love, ultimate health. People will be really, truly unique. They'll really, truly be themselves. How this is going to be, it says no one man can possibly reveal it, but nevertheless, that's the purpose of the world. That's the purpose of the world. You can see, what you say, in the future is going to be eternal life. What do people say? Oh, it's going to be boring. Eternal life, that'll be boring. You live another 1,000,000 years, 1 billion years. But the answer is no, there won't be any years. There won't be any idea of time. This world itself will be the way it's supposed to be. It'll be eternal. What it means? Every second, every moment will be a big surprise. Every moment you'll feel the essence of God. You won't be thinking about what was and what will be. As we'll talk about more, God willing, tomorrow.